Welcome to Herb Byers Stadium in Oceanside, California, on the campus of El Camino High School. As tonight, we present an Avocado League matchup between the Costa Canyon Mavericks and the El Camino Wildcats. Hello, everyone. Good evening. My name is Mark Hiller. I'll be bringing you all the play-by-play action, and oh my, being here tonight brings me down memory lane. From 1991 through 1997, I called all the El Camino and Oceanside football and basketball games on KOCT, made the sojourn to Orange County, and until tonight, I had not been heard from, but here I am, and I am back, and good to see a lot of familiar faces here in the crowd. I'll tell you what, the crowd started showing up. I got here at about 5:30, and the main parking lot was already close to capacity. People love this football team. They love this football program. They love come and watch their El Camino Wildcats. This is a key Avocado League matchup between these two ball clubs. Right now, La Costa Canyon finds themselves in a three-way tie in first place at 5-0 on the year. They are 1-0 in league play. Meanwhile, both Mission Hills and San Marcos both have a fine record of 2-0. El Camino in the middle of the pack with a 1-1 record. Torrey Pines 0-1, and then Oceanside and Carlsbad both 0-2, and those schools are playing cross down at Oceanside High School tonight in what is probably a must-win game for both of those teams. You certainly do not want to fall 0-3 in the column. As far as La Costa Canyon is concerned, their head coach is Sean Sovacool in his 8th year with a record of 56-31. He took over in 2010, has been the head coach since. He said to me, Mark, I grew up in a military family. I moved 17 times. He's like, I've dug my roots in at La Costa Canyon. He said it's probably the last job that I'll ever have. He loves this program. He loves this team. And his kids have played extremely well. They opened up the year with a 34-7 win at La Serna. Just took care of Mount Carmel 50-13. Shut out Escondido 38-0. Defeated Poway 35-7. And the closest game they've had this year, 36-21 against Carlsbad. On the year, they've outscored their opponents by 29, outscoring them 38.6 to 9.6. Meanwhile, on the flip side, for the El Camino Wildcats, a team that's 3-2 on the year, and they are 1-1 in league. The season started pretty good with a victory at Point Loma, 34-12. They defeated Rancho Bernardo here at home, 29-22. Took to the road at Citrus Hill, traveling up north, and lost 28-9. Defeated Torrey Pines in their league opener, 42-31. But then last week, a game they'd like to forget at San Marcos, where they lost by the count of 36-14. Their head coach is Michael Hobbs in his first year as head coach. Previously, for 6 years, he was the head coach at El Centro Union High School, and during that 6-year time period, 2 of those years, the team made it to the semifinals. So the Wildcats certainly have high hopes with Michael Hobbs taking over the program. By the way, a lot of his family is up in the state of Washington, and I promised I would say hello to them. So Coach Hobbs' family, hello. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast here tonight. So in the game against San Marcos, imbalanced offense for El Camino. They fell behind early by the count of 21-0. A big part of the reason, 2 bad snaps by the long snapper that went over the head of the punter, and San Marcos took an early 21-0 lead. So Coach Hobbs had to get away from his normal game plan of mixing up the pass and run, and they really went all pass the rest of the game. Out of their 313 yards of total offense, 312 of them were on the pass, and just 1 was on the ground. So El Camino wearing what looks like a gray and gold, which is getting away from their normal brown and gold. And the Mavericks are in white uniforms here tonight as the players shake hands at the 50-yard line. Good crowd on hand here, and I think they're also honoring a lot of the kids that play local Pop Warner football here in town on hand. And we're going to have the playing of our national anthem, and then we'll get things underway here tonight You're watching high school football between La Costa Canyon and El Camino on TVXvideo.com.
What's up, Larry?
And that was the playing of our national anthem. So put on your seatbelts. We got a good one here tonight here at Herb Myers Stadium. When Coach Meyer retired, he had 338 career victories, 226 at El Camino, 112 at Oceanside. He won himself 10 section titles. That must be pretty cool if you drive up to the stadium and see your name on there. That's got to be a pretty cool thing. So let's give you the probable starting lineups for El Camino on defense. Cornerbacks are Cameron Bullock and DeMarcus Griffin. Free safety, Donnell Frazier. Outside linebackers, Daniel Naranjo, Isaiah Gonzalez, Sua Tuatasi, and Rocky Katawanga, along with Jacob Sega. Defensive ends are Zach Brown and Martin Bonacci. Your nose guard, Edamani Tolifiano, tipping the scales at 6'3", 305. The offense for the Cats, offensive line left to right, Sauer, Newman, Parker, Knight, and Melgoza. Russell, Bullock, Griffin, and Johnson, your receivers. Brown, your running back, and Perez is your place kicker. It will be El Camino to kick things off, and Kevin Perez will handle those kicking duties. La Costa Canyon will get their hands on the ball first. When I spoke with the coaches before game time, Coach Hobbs said to me, he said, Mark, we have to limit their big plays. The Mavericks are known for scoring from 65, 70, 80 yards out. We also have to value the football. A week ago, 4 turnovers, the 2 fumbles, and the 2 interceptions. So we are moments away from the start of this one, 4 12-minute quarters here in high school football, here at Herb Myers Stadium on a gorgeous Friday night in Oceanside, California. Kick end over end is going to be actually foot touch the end line, and when that does in high school football, it's an automatic 1st and 10. So the La Costa Canyon Mavericks, their offense looks like this. Offensive line includes Trifononic, Zaid, Steele, Ritchie, and Mazzola. Receivers, Gonzalez and Miller, along with Carol Laquan. Jake Neufeld, is your quarterback, and Matthew Reynolds is the fullback. And so that's how they look offensively. On the defense for La Costa Canyon, their DBs, Wada, Berry, and Scoville. Linebacker Nicholas, Escada DB. D-line Zaid. Estrella and Madera on the line, Demarest and Lynch defensive line, and Cloutier defensive back. So here we go, 1st and 10 with the ball at the 20-yard line. They open up with a 3-receiver set, 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Neufeld going to throw it to its back. He's got some running room. Up ahead to the 27, and with the reception, that is number 1, Laquan, and it's going to bring up a short 2nd and 3, just underway from Herb Meyer Stadium. Avocado League matchup between El Camino and La Costa Canyon. And thanks for joining us wherever you may be, whether you're sitting in the stands watching this one at home or anywhere around the country or the world for that matter. Out of shotgun formation, it's 2nd and 3, 2-man backfield. Neufeld gives to his up man. He's going to pick up maybe about a yard and a half. Going to bring up 3rd down and short. Take a look at the El Camino Wildcats in that gray with gold numbers. They've got the classic brown helmet with gold stripes. La Costa Canyon in their white. The Mavericks, they have had El Camino's number. They have won 8 of their last 9 matchups. The last time El Camino won was 2014 by the count of 9-5. They do a run straight ahead. It's going to be close to the 1st down. They say they don't have it, or do they? So the quarterback keeper was a good enough by Neufeld to be able to move those chains. So Neufeld on the year, 50 of 79, 601 yards, and 8 touchdown passes. He's also rushed for 175 yards and a pair of scores. Look for Carson Lippert in the backfield. The junior a week ago against Carlsbad rambled for 304 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns, and add to that another 37 yards receiving, 341 yards of total offense. The give off the left side, around the end, across the 35 to the 36. That's a good 6-yard pickup, and it'll bring up 2nd down and 4 yards to go. That was a good pickup by Carol Jaquan. He wears number 1, 5'11", 170-pound senior, and they have a number of skilled players who are dangerous and can perform big plays. So the Cats, their base defense is a 3-5-3. That's good. Sometimes you could have as many as 8 in the box. You want to kind of slow down that running game. This time out of the I formation. The give to the tailback, Laquan. He's going nowhere, and that's going to be a loss of 2. Outstanding play on the defensive end for the Wildcats. And that was Tuatazi coming up with the tackle. And so it's going to bring up 3rd down and 5 yards to go. Just under 9.5 minutes to go here in quarter number 1. El Camino and La Costa Canyon. The Mavericks trying to hang around with Mission Hills and San Marcos. And we have our first time out of the game, which will be called by La Costa Canyon with 9:28 to play here in quarter number 1. We do have a bevy of sideline reporters from El Camino High School who will be giving us reports throughout the game. And why don't we go ahead and head on down for the live report and see if we can hear what the coaches are saying.
Come on now, let's get it. Let's get it deep back. Okay. Let's get it deep back, but I don't throw nobody around here. Kenny! If he blocks you, put him in your pocket. What do you want?
So it brings up 3rd down, 5 yards to go. Let's see what coach has in mind. They go at a shotgun formation. They load up the right side. They were hoping to catch El Camino off sides, and let's see if they pulled the trick. If so, that might be enough for a 1st down. Offsides against the Wildcats. It looks like it's going to be 3rd and about half a yard, or do they have the 1st down? I think it might be about half a yard. but they're saying that's enough for the first down. So 1st and 10 from the 40-yard line. It's mistakes like those that will drive a coach crazy. Just stay at home on the defense there, getting a little too excited, and the senior quarterback Neufeld was able to draw him off sides. Off the right side, they go to Lippert. He cuts back across the 40 to about the 43. That's good for a 3-yard pickup, and will bring up 2nd down and 7 yards to go. And the tackle for El Camino was made by Jacob Sega, the 5'11", 205-pound senior. Going to bring up 2nd and long. So really the key for the Cats tonight is to contain that Maverick offense, try and get the ball back on offense, and make that defense of the Mavericks work. So 2nd and 7. We're going to see multiple looks. Coach Sovakul told me before the game, who's in his 8th year. Neufeld on the run, incomplete. Was looking for his receiver, but good coverage by the Wildcats. That's going to bring up 3rd and 7. Donnell Frazier was in on the coverage, a 5'10", 145-pound senior. So 3rd and 7 from right at the 43. They need to get to midfield for first down yardage. The Mavericks started on their own 20, picked up a first down off a quarterback sneaker, and then got another first down drawing the Wildcats off sides. So 3rd and 7 from the 43 out of shotgun formation. Neufeld rolling left, aims, fires, good for a first down. 35-30, cuts back down to the 27-yard line, and with the reception, Monahan on the reception, and that is a big-time pickup right there. That is a 29-yard connection between Neufeld and Monahan. They have a lot of weapons. You never know who they're going to go to. Monahan had a big game against Poway, 3 receptions for 50 yards. Here they run it along the sideline and knocked out of bounds at the 13-yard line. That's another big-time pickup as they keep going to Carol Jaquan. And that was a pickup of about 14 yards. First down, move those chains. So you see the way the Mavericks are able to mix up that pass and the run, and they're keeping the El Camino defense on their heels and on the field. We have 8:03 to go, so time of possession, just under 4 minutes to go here in quarter number 1. So far, we've already seen multiple offensive looks, as we've been told we would see from this Maverick team. And we have a timeout. And it's called by La Costa Canyon. So that's already their second timeout. Let's head on down to the sidelines and see if we can hear what the coaches are saying and if we can get a report from one of the youngsters from El Camino High.
I can't really. Okay, I can't. What? I just There's no one I can talk to. Everyone's over there and I can't walk that far.
So 1st and 10 from the 14-yard line. Working out a shotgun formation, 3-man backfield. The give is to the tailback Lippert. Cuts back to the 10, the 5, and he's down to the 4-yard line. That's going to be close, if not 1st and goal. We'll have to see where the officials put the ball down. I'll tell you, that Lippert, man, he gets to that second level awfully quick. So 1st and goal from the 4, Sega on the tackle. Out of shotgun once again. They'll give to Lippert. Lippert cuts back inside, works his way down to about the 1.5-yard line before he's thrown down. It'll be 2nd and goal. 7:35 to go here in quarter number 1. The Mavericks have had it since the quarter has opened. 2nd and 2 with the ball at the 2. Neufeld once again working into that shotgun formation. Once again, he fakes it. Neufeld's going to walk into the end zone for a Maverick touchdown. And with 7:12 to go in quarter number one, the Mavericks strike first. They're up 6-0, pending the extra point. That was an 80-yard drive, started back at their own 20. Neufeld on the run from 2 yards out puts Costa Canyon on the board. The extra point is up, and it is good. 7:12 to go here in quarter number one with your score. Costa Canyon 7 and El Camino nothing. That was an impressive drive. That's what Costa Canyon does. They mix up that pass and that run so well. It's 49% run, 51% pass. They used both of those, employed it during that drive. We saw Neufeld complete a couple of passes. We saw some big long runs. And then we saw the quarterback call his own number and be able to score the first points of this game. Really the wild card in this game, it's the first time we'll be seeing El Camino's DeMarcus Griffin. He's a transfer from the Fresno area. 5'8", 145. He's got speed to burn. He'll be playing on both sides of the ball. Has already given a verbal to Rutgers University. And here we go. The kickoff. It's a squibber. It's picked up at the 30. Still on his feet. Kind of going the wrong way there, and he's back at the 30, kind of where he started, and that's where the El Camino Wildcats will start 1st and 10. So let's see what Jaden Casey and company can do. Casey on the year, 77 of 126, good for 1,240 yards. He completes 61 of his passes for 10 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. The skill guys we'll be hearing will include DeMarcus Griffin, Chris Brown, Cameron Bullock, Malachi Russell. Let's see what the Wildcats can do. They're trailing 7-0 early on, working at a shotgun formation, 4-man front by the Mavericks. Off the right side to Griffin. Let's see what this kid can do. That first run from scrimmage is a career Wildcat, nets 0 yards, and will bring up 2nd and 10. The one thing about that Maverick defense, it's a veteran group. They stay at home. They play that run well. It's going to be 2nd and long. 6:44 to go here in the first quarter. Let's see if El Camino can get their offense going here on a Friday night in the Key Avocado League matchup. Out of shotgun formation, 2-man backfield. Casey, he's got some time. He's looking to air it out deep. And the catch is made, and it's going to be an El Camino touchdown. Malachi Russell, 80-yard touchdown score. His 6th touchdown catch of the year, and you can see why that young man averages over 25 yards per reception. We've got a 7-6 game with 6:33 to go here in quarter number one. That's the way you air it out. Time of possession was all of 39 seconds, but that's all El Camino needed to score the touchdown. Perez in for the extra point. The kick is up, and it is good. We are tied at 7 with 6:33 to go here in quarter number one.
We have a tie game at 7.
So it was all of 2 plays. Griffin no gain on the run, and then Casey airing it out hits Malachi Russell for an 80-yard touchdown score, and we are tied at 7. talking with a couple of reporters before the game, and they said, Mark, what do you do full time? I said, I work for Spectrum Business. So those of you that need Spectrum Business Internet, phone, and video, check this out. We have a special where you can get 100 meg, a phone line, cable TV, starting at just $109.96. And so I'm daring people in the crowd watching this who live in the Spectrum Business area, pick up the phone and give me a call, 714-620-5547, or email me, mark.heller, Heller, @charter.com. Spectrum Business, working with me, Mark Heller, a winning combination. 7-7 your score. Both teams scored on their first possession of this first quarter. For the Mavericks, it was methodical working down the field with El Camino. It was bam, a big touchdown score. That ball kicked into the end zone by Perez. And the Mavericks once again will start 1st and 10 with the ball on their own 20-yard line.
Mavericks, their own 20-yard line.
El Camino's defense comes back out on the field. The best defensive backfield I've ever broadcast in my life has got to be the mid-90s team that included Bryant Westbrook, Michael Booker, and Noel Prefontaine. Many of you know that Bryant went on to play at Texas and with the Detroit Lions. Michael Booker played with Nebraska and with the Atlanta Falcons in the Super Bowl. And Noel Prefontaine, after San Diego State, followed his dad's footsteps and played in the Canadian Football League. Neufeld off to Laquan. It's going to be a loss on the play. That's a negative yardage, -3. Good defense right there. Sega on the tackle, number 44. 2nd down, 13 yards to go. Good job by the Wildcat defense. They stayed at home. They didn't over-pursue, and they came up with the tackle, and that's exactly what Michael Hobbs wants to see from his defense here tonight. At a shotgun formation, 2-man backfield. The give, they fake it to Lippert, and they go left side of Laquan, and he's going to pick up a couple of yards. So it's going to be 3rd down and long, and this is a pretty obvious passing situation. So El Camino typically in their 3-5 set. We'll see if they have those linebackers playing a few yards back. And let's see what the Mavericks have in mind here. 5:49 to go here in quarter number 1. Mark Heller, thanks for joining us here on a Friday night at Herb Meyer Stadium at El Camino High School in Oceanside, California. 4 receivers set, 2 to either side, empty backfield. Neufeld under a heavy rush, and he's going down back at the 11-yard line. And coming up with the QB sack, it's Martin Bonacci, the 6'1", 215-pound senior, and that was Wildcat defense right there. That is what Coach Hobbs is expecting from his team, a 3 and out, and they're going to get the ball back with some pretty darn good field position. Back to receive the punt will be Cameron Bullock, and he's standing on the La Costa Canyon 48-yard line. Snap is good, kick is good, and it will be returnable from the 49 to the 40. Still on his feet, 35, knocked out of bounds at the 32-yard line. That's good for a 17-yard return by Cameron Bullock, and the Wildcats are in business. 1st and 10 from the Maverick 32-yard line.
The 30-plus yard return brought down by Isaac Scoville. 1st and 10 Wildcats.
So 1st and 10 for El Camino from the Maverick 32-yard line. Let's see what Jaden Casey and company can do right here. Last time he threw it, it was to Russell for an 80-yard strike. He's looking over the middle, and it's nicely broken up. Will be 2nd and 10. He was looking on the coverage for Cameron Bullock, but unable to haul it in was number 1. 2nd down, 10 yards to go for El Camino. We might get some occasional score updates on some of the other games going on, and if we do, I'll pass them along to you. At a shotgun, 2nd and 10. The give off right side to Chris Brown. Brown maybe gets a yard, and that's about it. A bevy of schools are looking at the 6'2", 225-pound junior, including, my understanding is right now UCLA has the lead. Brown on the year, over 409 yards rushing, and a 4.4 average, and 5 touchdown scores. 3rd and 9 out of shotgun. Casey aims, fires, complete. That's good for first down yardage. As he hits Cameron Bullock. Bullock entered the game, 14 receptions, 193 yards, a 13.8 average, and has hauled in a pass as long as 60 yards out.
First and 10 Wildcats.
We approach the 4-minute mark here in this first quarter. El Camino tied with La Costa Canyon, but they are on the march. The give to Brown. Oh boy, they are all over him. I have a feeling that Coach Sovakul said if they're going to get some big plays, it's not going to be from Chris Brown. They were in the box just waiting for that young man.
By number 55.
No gain. Will bring up 2nd down and 10 yards to go, with the ball at the 19-yard line. Let's see what El Camino can do right here. At a shotgun. Looking end zone. Oh, he had it and he dropped it. Does he have it? Is that a touchdown? They're saying incomplete. Yeah, Malachi never quite had the handle on that one. I think maybe by the time he caught the ball, he was already out of bounds. Good call by the official, and that'll bring up 3rd and 9. But you can tell they want to continue and exploit the person who is guarding Malachi Russell, because Russell has speed to burn. Third and 9. Shotgun once again. The give to Brown off the right side. Nothing doing. Matter of fact, he loses a couple of yards. Good defensive pursuit right there for La Costa Canyon. And that's number 23, Christian Estrella on the tackle. It's going to bring up 4th down. And let's see if the Wildcats go for it, or it looks like they'll bring in Perez for the field goal attempt. Kevin Perez, 6 foot, 186-pound senior, and this attempt will be, looks to be a 37-yard field goal. The Cats had some problems on special teams last week. Let's see if they've cleaned things up here tonight. Snap's good. The kick is up, and it is no good. Just to the right. So the Wildcats unable to score as they squander outstanding field position, and the Mavericks will take over on downs. .2:20 to go, first quarter. We are tied at 7. El Camino Wildcats, their first-year head coach, Michael Hobbs. Coaching staff, defensive backs, longtime coach John Guy. LaFoy Malolula, receivers. Kyle Grant on offensive line. Joseph Kim, running back. Steve Evangelist, running back linebackers. And Richard Kovalchek, quarterbacks. They go to the run on first down, do the Mavericks. Up ahead to the 25. It's about a 5-yard pickup. Going to bring up 2nd down, 5 yards to go. So El Camino entering with a 1-1 league record. Look good against Torrey Pines, not good against San Marcos, and looking pretty darn good here so far tonight. Tied in the 7-all game against the La Costa Canyon Mavericks, who have beat them 8 out of the last 9 matchups. The pass, incomplete. And the receiver made the key mistake. He took his eye off the ball for a single moment, and doing that was just enough to drop the ball. I mean, if you're Cole Miller, you're going to get hit whether you catch the ball or not, so you may as well catch the darn thing. 3rd down, 5 yards to go. One of the all-time greats in La Costa Canyon history is San Francisco 49er offensive lineman Eric Magnuson. I'm not sure if he's tuning in, but if you are, I hope you're enjoying the game. Off the left side with the run. Going to be shy of the first down. Good job once again by that El Camino defense. And it looks as though the Mavericks unable to pick up that first down. So the Wildcats have done a good job on the run. So far, 2 decent-sized runs by La Costa Canyon. Besides that, they've been able to snuff out the Maverick offense, and it's 4th and 1, so they'll be forced to punt. It looks like they might be faking it. They are, and they're going for it, and they got it. Oh, that's a gutsy call right there. They took the sneak and worked their way up to the 35-yard line. Boy, if you don't get that first down, the Wildcats have fantastic field position once again.
Ball carrier picked up 4 or 5 yards. Rocky and Martin Bonacci made the play.
Wow, Rocky makes the tackle, but not before 5 yards are gained. 1st and 10, La Costa Canyon. The Mavericks have decided we may be on the road, but we're trying to keep that undefeated season, undefeated league record in check. Neufeld out of shotgun. High snap, retrieves it. Good run by Lippert. 45, midfield, still on his feet, and he works his way down to the El Camino 43-yard line. That's a 23-yard pickup by Carson Lippert. That's what he does. He gets to that second level awfully quickly, and you better be ready to tackle him. 1st and 10 from the 43. Scat back, man in motion. Neufeld doesn't like something, and he's getting some signals from Coach Sovakul. Let's see what he goes with here. Out of shotgun. Off the right side to Lippert. Tries to get to the outside. He's going to pick up a hard-earned 2 yards. Going to bring up 2nd down and 8 yards to go on the tackle. Martin Bonacci, number 55. And that's going to wrap it up for the first quarter of play from Herb Myers Stadium. Both teams scored on their first possession. It's La Costa Canyon 7. It's El Camino 7. You're watching exclusive action of high school football on TVXvideo.com. Stay with us.
Tied at 7. Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to take a moment to recognize the 120 plus
beginning of the second quarter, 2nd and 6. A run by the Mavericks. They work their way down to about the 37-yard line. That's going to bring up short yardage situation here. We just had that moments ago. 11:42 to go here in the first half, tied at 7 between La Costa Canyon and El Camino. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mark Keller, bringing you all the play-by-play action of this Avocado League matchup. It's 3rd down, 3 yards to go with the ball at the 37-yard line. Neufeld barking the signals at the line of scrimmage. He's got out of the I formation. The give to Lippert. First down and then some. 30, 25, still on his feet at the 20-yard line. Boy, how many times have I said Lippert just ripping off some big gains? That's about a 15-yarder right there. 1st and 10, La Costa Canyon at the El Camino 21. And Lippert, he's only a junior. He'll start getting some big-time recruits going after him. They go to Lippert again, inside the 20, 15, down to the 14-yard line. That's a pickup of 7, and we'll bring up 2nd down and 3 yards to go. We have an official timeout. We have an injury on the field. It's an injured Maverick. From this vantage point, can't see who it is, but we certainly hope he's okay. I think it's one of the offensive linemen. Looks like ending with the number 6. '26th. Okay. Thanks for sharing that with me. So that would be Cade Madera, their 6'3", 225-pound senior fullback. We certainly hope that he's okay. Yeah, we have the way of communication, don't we? Yeah, up here in the booth. I'll tell you what, just so impressed with this big crowd on hand from the El Camino faithful. I mentioned I got here at 5:30, and the parking lot was already close to capacity. I'm sure there were some people who took a nice little walk to get to this game here tonight. So 2nd and 3 from the 14-yard line is what La Costa Canyon is faced with here in a 7-7 game Key Avocado League matchup between these two ball clubs. La Costa Canyon wants to stay undefeated in the league, and El Camino wants to kind of join the party here. Right now, San Marcos and Mission Hills both at 2-0 and in first place. 2nd and 3 out of shotgun formation. Neufeld sets up the screen, but nothing doing. Rocky was able to snuff that one out, and that's a 1-yard loss. That's what he does out of that linebacker position. Does a good job playing that pass, and a tackle for loss for Rocky. 3rd down, 3 yards to go from the 14-yard line as we approach 10.5 minutes to go here in the first half. Let's see what package the Mavericks come out with here. They've given us so many different looks already tonight. Here it's an empty backfield. 2 receivers left, 2 right, 1 split left. Neufeld can't find anyone. On the run, he's in trouble, and he's going, he was going down and somehow got rid of it. Rocky had him look like a QB sack back at the 25, but somehow Neufeld was able to get rid of it, and we have a flag thrown at the 10-yard line at the very end of the play. And La Costa Canyon is not happy, so you have to have a feeling it's going against the Mavericks. We'll just keep an eye on the officials. We'll let them make the call. We have an injured Wildcat on the field. And that Wildcat is number 23, Zach Brown. Let's go check the sidelines and see what's happening, El Camino students. What's up? We're glad that Zach Brown was able to get off the field with a little bit of help. He works his way towards the sideline.
I don't know what the camera's on.
But we never heard what the penalty was. We saw a hanky thrown at the 10-yard line, so I don't know. I don't know if the officials waved it off. Apparently they must have. It almost feels like a do-over. 3rd and 3 from the 14. Remember when we were kids, we didn't like something that happened? We'd say, let's do a do-over. That's what happened right here. Well, now it's 4th and 3. Okay. So incomplete pass from the 15. They're going to go for it. You know they're going to try and draw them off sides and get the first down, but I don't think the Cats are going to fall for that twice. Out of the Wildcat, they go for it. Laquan off the right side. Cuts back, and he's got the first down and then some as he works his way down to the 7-yard line. I'll tell you what, Coach Sovacool, he's got so much offensive arsenal and weaponry and play calling. This is a tough team to slow down. I mean, you can see why this team is scoring almost 39 points per contest. That was Carroll Jaquan on the run right there. Jaquan Carroll, excuse me. So 1st and goal with the ball. Looks like about, I'm not sure if it's the 6 or 7. It looks closer to the 7. Out of shotgun formation. And we've got, I think, a timeout on the field. We do by the Mavericks, who have now used up 3 timeouts here in the first half with 9:38 to go. Understandably why they called that timeout. This is a close ball game, 7-7. You want to value that football, and the Mavericks have an opportunity to retake the lead. They scored on their first possession, an 80-yard drive. Neufeld, the quarterback, called his own number and ran it from 2 yards out. Then El Camino had a 2 offensive drive. Play number 1 was a Griffin run for no gain, and then Casey was able to connect with Malachi Russell on an 80-yard touchdown catch. Extra point good. 7-all is where we are. The Cats had great field position starting at the Maverick 32, but couldn't come away with points, and a 37-yard field goal was missed. And now La Costa Canyon has worked their way down the field and have a 1st and goal from the 7 with 9:38 remaining. Let's see what Coach Sobakul has in his utility closet here on this play. It's a sweep end around to Carroll. The 5. He's in for a touchdown. And the Mavericks take a 13-7 lead. 9:31 to go here in the first half. So for the Mavericks, it was a very impressive drive via the run. And now they're looking to go up by 7 once again. The extra point is up, and it is good. 14-7 is your score. La Costa Canyon leading El Camino. We had mentioned the importance of this Avocado League game entering tonight, with the Cats kind of in the middle of the pack right now at 1-1. Mission Hills and San Marcos are both 2-0. La Costa Canyon 1-0. Torrey Pines 0-1. Oceanside and Carlsbad, they are both 0-2. Next week, Mission Hills will be at La Costa. Could be a big-time game. San Marcos will be at Carlsbad. And El Camino will play non-league. They'll be hosting the Warriors of Fallbrook right back here at Herb Myers Stadium. 9:31 to go here in the first half. It is 14-7. The lead belongs to the Mavericks of La Costa Canyon. Back deep to receive. That's Malachi Russell. They go with a squib kick. We also have a penalty flag. And I have the feeling it might be offsides against La Costa Canyon. And they'll make them re-kick. Yep, that'll cost them 5. The smart thing, they do not want to put the ball in the hands of Malachi Russell. They already know what this young man is capable of doing after that 80-yard touchdown catch back in quarter 1. Also, Griffin is back with them as well. So those are a couple of guys you really don't want to kick the ball to unless you think you can kick that ball into the end zone and force the Cats to start at their own 20-yard line. But I don't think their kicker has that kind of foot. Or maybe that's just the game plan. Once again, they kind of go with a squib, picked up by the up man. I think his knee touched the ground. So El Camino will start 1st and 10 with good field position, with the ball at the 43-yard line. 14-7. La Costa leads El Camino. Let's see if the Wildcats have an answer again offensively. I mean, most of their offense came on that 80-yard touchdown catch, and we've seen that El Camino is certainly capable of big plays, but I like to see their passing game maybe go for some short gains, some medium gains, kind of mix it up a little bit and try and keep the Maverick defense on their heels and keep them guessing. They got 2-man backfield, 2 receivers right, 1 left, 4-man front by the Mavericks. Out of shotgun is Casey. Thinking a number of schools, including Columbia, might be an Ivy League man. Back to pass. Dumps it off to his back. 45, and that's going to be about it. I'll tell you what, in their game plan, I think they specifically wrote, Chris Brown will not beat us. Because every time he touches the ball, there are 4 and 5 defenders around it. They call it a pickup of 2, 2nd and 8, with the ball at the 45. Substitution, man needs to check out. That's Garner checking out. And let's see what Casey can do right here as he works out a shotgun. 4 receivers set, 1-man backfield, 2 receivers to either side. Casey aims, fires, incomplete. Mistiming pattern there as he was looking for DeMarcus Griffin. And that'll bring up 3rd down. You have to keep in mind for Griffin, this is his first varsity game. He had to sit out half the year after transferring from Fresno during the offseason. He's got a lot of skills, but at the same time, you can also tell there's a little bit of rust, learning a new system, playing with new players, catching balls from a new quarterback. Definitely a lot of challenges there. I'm sure as the year goes on, we'll be hearing some good things from the young man Griffin. 3rd down, 8 yards to go from the 45. Casey, he's got time. Looking over the middle, and the ball is dropped and then intercepted. Here come the Mavericks. Brought down at the 47-yard line. Receiver had it, lost it. The ball popped up in the air, and it got picked off by Christian Estrella, and he takes it up to the 47-yard line. That's a big-time interception right there, and we also have an injury at the end of the play. You never like seeing that. That's our 3rd injured player of the night.
Costa Canyon.
Let's see if we can see who that player is. He's down at about the 47. I think it might be Estrella, the gentleman who picked off that pass.
Injury timeout.
Still can't see, but we have an injury timeout on the field with 8:27 to go in the first half. La Costa Canyon 14 and El Camino 7.
Please participate in the football game Skybox raffle. Tonight's winner is the Pike family. They are enjoying the best seat in the house. Dinner, drinks, snacks, and dessert provided. There are silent auctions available for next week's game as well as
Well, the entire
27.
doctor and physical therapy staff is down on that field looking over the injured player who's still down. Still can't see who it is, but I have a feeling it might be Estrella who had picked off that pass, number 23. It is, and he's being helped off the field. Boy, that was a nice pick. Receiver just could not hold on to the ball. Estrella was the man on the spot. I think he returned it about 10 to 12 yards off the pick. 6:27 to go. 8:27 to go here in the first half. The Mavericks up 14-7, and they'll see if they could take advantage of this field position. So here come the Mavericks in their white uniforms, winners of 5 in a row. 1-0 in league play, looking for more here with a 1-touchdown lead. The give. And El Camino does a good job snuffing out the run right there as they tried going to Lippert few times. He did not pick up a lot of yards on the run. I think he's lucky if he got back to the line of scrimmage, which he did. And they'll bring up 2nd down and 10 yards to go. Outstanding staff. We got Luis Rivera, our producer and technical director. Andrew Leadham, director. We got George, Abby, and Josh on camera. We got Abraham on audio. Ted Bendrick, our executive producer, even if he's not here. And yours truly, Mark Heller. The pass is complete. The 30, 25, 20. He's off to the races, and he's brought down at the 3-yard line. Just another offensive weapon for the Mavericks of La Costa Canyon. And oh my, they make it look oh so easy. First and goal with the ball at the 3. So that was a pickup of 50 yards on that reception.
False start. Against the Costa Canyon. 5 yards.
And on the reception, that was Zachary Monahan. So Monahan with 2 receptions catches that one, good for 50 yards as they place the ball. Actually, they place it at the 8, so correct that. That was a pickup of 45 on the play, but still an impressive pass play. First and goal with the ball at the 8-yard line. 2 receivers left. 2 right, man in motion. They sweep it to the right side. Running back throws it, and it's a touchdown. Monahan with the touchdown catch. A little trickery, a little chicanery. That was Jake Schenk, number 22, throwing it to a wide-open Zachary Monahan. And with 6:51 to go here in the first half, it's La Costa 20 and El Camino 7. Wow, Monahan was just wide open. No one saw that one coming. I'll tell you what, this La Costa Canyon offense, very impressive. The extra point is up, and it is good. We've got 6:51 to go here in the first half. La Costa Canyon 21, El Camino 7. You're watching exclusive action of high school football on TVXvideo.com. And remember, this drive began with an interception. We talked about how important it is to value the possession of that football, keep the turnovers down. The first turnover of the night by El Camino turns into 7 points for La Costa Canyon. So that drive was 53 yards. The big play, of course, was the 50-yard hookup to Monahan, and then moments later, they give it to Schenk on an end around, and he throws it to a wide-open Monahan in the end zone for an 8-yard touchdown score. And here we go. Once again, they're going to go with that squib kick picked up by the Upmen at the 35 to the 40, and that's where the Wildcats will start first and 10. So the Upman who was able to return that ball, number 21, Isaiah Gonzalez. And let's see what the Cats can do right here. They need to put together some type of sustained drive. They have to make that Maverick defense work, keep them on the field, and at the same time, let El Camino's defense get a little bit of rest because they've been out there for quite a bit of time. And also keep in mind the Wildcats have a number of guys who are two-way starters. So fatigue could possibly come into play as at game time we're at around 70 degrees. Looks like possible blitz out of shotgun formation. Casey over the middle. Catch is made with running room down to the Maverick 41-yard line. And that is good for an El Camino first down. Cameron Bullock on the reception. If you give Casey time to throw, he is a very accurate passer. He's got a good arm. The receivers just need to do their job and haul the ball in and make those receptions. First and 10 from the Maverick 40-yard line at a shotgun. The give is to Brown. There is just absolutely no running room for Chris Brown. He is going the wrong way. He's going to lose 7 yards. Plus a flag flies at the end of the play. I am telling you, this Maverick defense has been told Chris Brown is not going to beat us tonight, and you can tell the way they've pursued the ball anytime he touches it. They have listened to their coach because Brown has just been bottled up all night long. A week ago, if you remember, the El Camino running game only had 1 yard the entire contest. They have to find a way to establish the run. Being a one-dimensional offensive team is not going to put up victories for you. It's a penalty against El Camino, And the Cats now are back at their own 45-yard line.
25 for the Wildcats.
So it's first down and 25 yards to go. So since the Cats' success has been with the pass, I wouldn't expect anything else. And now the officials confer at the El Camino 40. So El Camino, they readjusted the ball back at the 45 of La Costa Canyon, so it's 2nd and 14. Casey setting up the screen. Nothing doing as they try going to Cameron Bullock. Good job being snuffed out by that Maverick defense. And it's going to bring up 3rd down and 14 yards to go. 3rd and 14 for El Camino. The Cats have had some good field position in this game, but have been unable to take advantage of it offensively. And if they don't pick up a first down here, they're going to find themselves back on defense once again. They call it 3rd and 15 from the 45. Need to get to the 30 for a first down. Casey under a heavy rush. He's going down back at the 50-yard line. Good pursuit right there. And El Camino's going to have to punt things away. So the Wildcats unable to get anything done. And offensively, this almost looks like a repeat of the San Marcos game, where they were able to gain yards passing but unable to do anything via the run. And if you're Coach Hobbs, you're going to have to figure out a way to open things up with the run and the pass. Punt up, end over end. Loose ball, fumble! But it's picked up back at the 13-yard line, where La Costa Canyon will start 1st and 10. Almost losing the handle, there was Conrad Ambergi, their 5'11", 150-pound senior, but he wisely pounced on that football. The El Camino Wildcat cheerleaders, despite being down by a pair of touchdowns, not letting it dampen their spirits. Want to say a hi to my wife Mary up in Orange County, and she's hanging out with our friends Beth and Aaron. If you guys are tuning in, I say hello. 1st and 10 with the ball at the 15-yard line. The run straight up the gut, not much there. Going to bring up 2nd and long. Good job defensively for El Camino by Jacob Sega, their 5'11", 205-pound senior. The hype coming into this game was that El Camino was more athletic, but maybe La Costa Canyon a little more cohesive, as they've had the same group of players around. One of the young El Camino sideline reporters dancing it up. They go back to the run. Lippert to about the 18. That's going to bring up 3rd down and 7 yards to go. El Camino really needs a 3 and out and get that football back as we approach the 3:20 mark to go here in the first half. But so far, La Costa Canyon, situations like this, they have not let faze them at all so far. Very impressive in the way that they have handled some of the challenges in this game tonight. This time out of shotgun. Man in motion, 2 receivers left, 2 right, whistle blows. That usually means illegal man in motion, and that should probably cost the Mavericks 5 yards. But we'll let the officials sort it out and make the call. Actually, I think a timeout was called is what happened. 3rd and 7 from the 18-yard line. 2:58 to go here in the first half. El Camino trailing La Costa Canyon 21-7. It was 7-all at the end of one. Then Carroll had a 7-yard touchdown run to make it 14-7 at the 9:11 mark. And then at the 6:51 mark, Monahan catching an 8-yarder from Schenk, who they had given it to him in the backfield. And then he threw the halfback option to a wide-open Monahan. Extra points all good. 21-7 is your score. The El Camino defense needs a way to clamp down right here. If they can stop them, they'll have good field position and a chance to put some more points on the scoreboard. But first things first is to slow down the Mavericks here on 3rd and 7 at a shotgun. Neufeld aims, fires, and it's incomplete as his intended receiver was Cole Miller, and that will bring up 4th down. So the Cats do the job defensively. Now let's see if they could get it done on special teams, maybe a big special teams play, or get something going offensively. Really, outside of that 80-yard touchdown score, their offense has been relatively quiet here tonight. This punt will be non-returnable and will go out of bounds. Looks like some extracurricular activity at the end of that one. And it's going to be 1st and 10 for El Camino in La Costa Canyon territory. They rule the ball out of bounds at the 47-yard line. So that was only about a 30-yard punt with no return and 2:43 to go here in the first half. So let's see what the Wildcats can do right here. Led by Jaden Casey, their QB. They need something, and they need it now. 4 receivers set, 2 wide to either side, 1-man backfield. Casey aims, fires. 2 receivers in the same general area. I have a feeling someone did not run a correct route, but Russell Malachi able to come up with the reception. So Malachi Russell on the reception picks up, looks like about 8 yards. Should be 2nd down and 2 yards to go with the ball at the 39-yard line. Casey had a shotgun once again. He's got time. Aims, fires. That ball is caught, and it's good enough for a 1st down. He goes to Malachi Russell once again. Clearly his favorite receiver as we've been watching this game move on. After all, Russell entered the game, 21 receptions, 513 yards, 24.4 average. Now he averages 102.6 yards per game. His long had been 74 for the year before the 80-yard touchdown catch tonight. Halfback option along the right side. Once again, just not much doing with that run as they give it to DeMarcus Griffin. Griffin, we know, is a multi-talent, can do a lot of things, but La Costa Canyon has really concentrated their defense on slowing down number 8, which is Griffin, and number 27, Chris Brown, and they have done the job well tonight. Pickup of 1, 2nd and 9 from the 31. Casey, good size, 6'3", 190. And wearing those yellow cleats, you can't miss him. He gets hit as he throws the ball, and it's incomplete. For the Mavericks, that was number 28. Joseph Escada, who got to Casey just as he released that football, and they were lucky that that was not a loose ball fumble. 3rd and 9, 1:19 to go. if you're El Camino, you definitely have to find a way to get a first down here because you do not want to let that Maverick offense get back on the field. You want them to be on the sidelines until the second half begins. El Camino trying to get back into the thick of the Avocado League race, but they have had their hands full here tonight with La Costa Canyon. Out of shotgun formation is Casey. Under rush, rolling right, good movement, and the catch is made. That's a catch. Good job by Casey to keep that play alive. And it's Brock Mamber with the reception. Mamber, a 6-foot, 160-pound junior. And that's just his third reception of the year. But it's good for a Wildcat first down at the Mavericks 16. We have just hit the 1-minute mark left in this first half of play. Still plenty of time, but clock management also important. Let's see the efficiency of the El Camino offense here in the waning moments. Casey aims, fires, completes to Griffin. Griffin, it takes 3 Mavericks to bring him down at the 5-yard line. That's going to be first and goal with 39.5 seconds remaining. So the Wildcats still with plenty of time. And a timeout is being used by El Camino. 35.1 seconds remain to play here in the first half. 21-7 is your score. And El Camino, they would love nothing better than get a touchdown in the waning moments of this one. If they can make it a 1-touchdown game going into the locker room, they feel as though they have a shot against a very good La Costa Canyon team. A year ago, these teams played at La Costa Canyon, and the Mavericks won 34-23. 2 years ago at El Camino, it was a 34-28 victory for La Costa Canyon, very close game. El Camino won the year before that 9-5, and then it was Maverick victories of 21-16 in 2013, 19-0 in 2012, 17-14 in 2011, and 28-15 in 2010. But all that really counts now is the matchup in the year 2017, and it's 21-7. La Costa Canyon leads it. First and goal with the ball at the 5, and they actually put it to 40 seconds on the clock. We're at 40 seconds to play here in the first half. Casey out of shotgun formation. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left, and a 1-man backfield.
Hey, check that, make it 39 seconds.
Now we're being told 39 seconds, and that's the reason for the wait, a difference of all of 1 second, but that could be a huge difference in the way this first half goes. I would definitely look to see where Malachi Russell is, number 3. He has been all world today. Casey, he's looking end zone. Is it caught? No, incomplete. And he was looking for that man, Malachi Russell, who has had a monster of a first half for El Camino. It stops the clock with 35.7 seconds to go here in the first half, and it will be second and goal with the ball at the 5-yard line. The El Camino offense, as I think back over the years, I remember running back in the late 80s, early 90s named Mike Flanagan, who was a real good one. Of course, Bryant Westbrook and Michael Booker, who played both sides of the football. Many outstanding athletes have come through the hallowed halls of El Camino over the years. Second and goal from the 5. Casey at a shotgun. Aims, fires, and it's picked off! Interception by La Costa Canyon! Their second pick of the second quarter, and it thwarts an El Camino threat. But we also have a flag on the play, so we'll have to see if it stands. The interception was by Ryan Martinez. So the question is, was that maybe the penalty was on the return or was the penalty before the pick? I have a feeling it was probably during the return, but we'll let the officials sort this one out. 27.8 seconds to go here in the first half. Yep, so that's what it was. Well, actually, the penalty is being called on the defense. And it looks like El Camino is keeping the football. So that is a huge call in this football game. It's half the distance to the goal line. First and goal from the 2. So instead of a pick for the Mavericks and going in with a 21-7 lead, El Camino has a chance right here. 2 yards away from making it a 1-touchdown score. Casey rolling right, aims, fires, touchdown, El Camino! How about Cameron Bullock with the touchdown catch? And with 11.2 seconds to go here in the first half, pending the extra point, we got ourselves a 7-point contest. The one thing that I really like about Casey, he finds a way to extend plays. Couldn't find his initial receiver, rolled to his right, found Bullock in the end zone, touchdown Cats. Extra point by Perez. It is up, and it is good. So with 11.2 seconds remaining, El Camino gets a huge break after an apparent interception by Costa Canyon. It ends up being a penalty against the Mavericks, and from 2 yards out, Casey able to connect with Bullock, and we've got ourselves a 7-point game. So the pass continues to go well for the El Camino Wildcats. If they could just figure out a way to run the football, they would be oh so dangerous.
Hey Josh, at halftime, if you want to collect that,
So let's see what El Camino does here. Perez will be kicking things off. He wears number 16, has done well on his kicking role, has kicked the ball continually into the end zone. Here they'll go with a squib kick, which will force a return in the end of the first half. 20, 25, 30, 35. Still on his feet, 40, 45 midfield, down to the 45-yard line is Laquan Carroll, and that's how we'll wrap up the first half of play. Well, for some reason they're showing, we still got 2.3 seconds. So chance for a Hail Wife, as I would say, Hail Mary, with 2.3 seconds to go. So you got to wonder if that was really a good idea right there. Maybe if you kick it into the end zone, there may be 11 seconds, but they're at the 20. Still here, they go with a squib. They get a good return at the 48-yard line. You know they're going to throw the ball into the end zone and try. If they get 6 points back at the end of this first half, I mean, that would be El Camino's worst nightmare. So let's see. You know that Coach Sovakul has something up his sleeve he has all night. Neufeld rolling right. He is going to air it out, looking deep for 6, and it's picked off by El Camino. And that's how we will wrap up the first half of play. And coming up with the pick for the Cats, that was Donnell Frazier. And now we have reached halftime from Herb Myers Stadium, El Camino High School in Oceanside, California. It's La Costa 21, El Camino 14. I'm Mark Heller, and you're watching exclusive action of high school football on TVXvideo.com. Stay with us.
baseball now, there's like 3 games a day, aren't there? Or something like that going on. Yeah, there's a lot of. Oh, so it is 4 games today. Wow, I didn't know that. You're not watching that. You're not into that one, are you? Probably not. Huh? They're going to the chance. You think they're going to the NL championship round?
The El Camino Golden Prize.
Yeah. Yeah, they slumped a little bit. I think so. I got my friend still in town. Well, she's going to be in town for a while, but I got to return the car and the place. I was sitting for a guy, so I picked it up at the airport at like 9:30, so right after the game. I guess that's enough time. I guess that's enough time.
Ladies and gentlemen, the band is under the direction of Daniel S. James. Assistant band directors are Reggie Alaman. Color guard instructors are Tori and Jackie Goldberg and Maricela Luna. Percussion instructors are Pollock Rofto and Marcus Donaldson. The band would like to thank the Oceanside Unified School District, El Camino High School, and the El Camino High School Band Boosters for all of their support.
Well, thanks for joining us back here at Herb Myers Stadium, El Camino High School in Oceanside, California. We've got ourselves a 21-14 La Costa Canyon lead. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Mark Keller. Let's kind of give you some of the offensive numbers from the first half, and I want to thank Mr. John Maffey of the San Diego Union Tribune for giving us all the numbers. For La Costa Canyon on the run, Lippert was impressive, 13 rushes, 79 yards. That's good for over 6 yards a carry. Carroll had 7 carries for 31 yards. Neufeld, 4 of 9 for 85 yards and an interception. Monahan led the way receiving, 3 receptions, 86 yards, and a touchdown score. Meanwhile, for El Camino, it's a repeat of a week ago against San Marcos, where they were unable to run the ball. Chris Brown, 5 carries, -3 yards. The Cats as a team, 8 carries for -8 yards. Casey through the air, 9 of 15, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 150 yards. Malachi Russell was the recipient of 3 receptions for 91 yards, including that 80-yard touchdown score back in quarter number 1. And Bullock had 3 receptions, good for 34 yards. Let's recap the scoring in quarter number 1. On the first possession, the Mavericks marched 80 yards. Eventually, Neufeld would score on a 2-yard touchdown run. And at the 7:42 mark, it was 7-0. El Camino had the ball for all of 37 seconds, and on the second play, Casey was able to air it out and hit Russell for an 80-yard touchdown catch. Extra point was good, and 7-all was our score at the end of one. But then the Mavericks would come back and score on back-to-back possessions. Carroll would score in a 7-yard touchdown run to make it 14-7, and then a little chicanery and a fullback sweep to Schenk. He found Monahan wide open in the end zone for an 8-yard touchdown score, making it 21-7. And that short drive began when Estrella had a pick for the Mavericks, which he returned to the La Costa 47. So they only had to travel 53 yards on that drive. And then with all of 11.2 seconds left, it was a 2-yard touchdown pass from Casey to Bullock. And if you recall, the play before, it looked like La Costa Canyon had picked one off, but then they end up calling a penalty against La Costa Canyon. It was half the distance to the goal, 1st and goal from 2, and they're able to score, and 21-14 is where we stand. We still have 24 more minutes of football action coming your way here at Herb Meyer Stadium at El Camino High School in Oceanside, California. You know, I recall back in the early days when I called the games on KOCT from 1991 to 1997. Back in those days, it was before the internet. If you wanted the information, you actually had to show up to the school, meet the athletic directors, the coaches, and get all the statistical information as you look at the full moon rising here in Oceanside, California. And so it really kind of forced you to establish those relationships. Now, sometimes the coaches, it took them a while to kind of warm up. It probably took 3 years until Coach Herb Meyer, would welcome me when I would show up. Before then, it was kind of like, why are you here? And then eventually we got to the point where we did a Coach's Corner show, and from time to time we'd have Coach Meyer, we'd have Coach Carroll of Oceanside come in, we'd have some of the other assistant coaches, sometimes players, and it really kind of became a staple of programming at KOCT, which we did for 7 years, and personally want to thank Thomas Reeser, who's still the head honcho over there, for giving me the opportunity back in that day and work with an outstanding director in Matthew Beck. Also, fond memories of announcing high school football games with former San Diego Chargers Gil Bird, Dennis Conan McKnight, and my good buddy Tim Ware. And Tim, if you're out there, I'm saying hello, and I wish you would have been here tonight. Would have loved to have seen you after 20 years. And we just had a great time calling some classic high school football games over the years. Also covered both Oceanside and El Camino basketball games. We covered a number of CIF championships at Qualcomm Stadium. I mean, back in the day, we were the only media outlet covering the section title games. Our production truck was so small, it fit in the corner of the end zone, and they would roped off an area of the box seats, and that's where we sat outside in the great outdoors broadcasting the San Diego football championships. I remember the very last game I did in 1997 when Oceanside and John Carroll would win the second of his 13 section titles, a 28-25 victory against St. Augustine. 2 years before that, they had knocked off Mission Bay. We also did some of the CIF championships that Herb Meyer, the legendary coach here at El Camino, had won, and just a lot of fond memories. And the thing I love about the city of Oceanside is that this community supports the 2 high school sports programs, especially on the football end. I mean, Friday night, it's really a community event. I'm sure a lot of the stores probably aren't too busy during the hours that the football games are being played. So there's nothing like community. There's nothing like having that association. And you see a lot of families kind of pass things on over the years. Thank you so much for the waters being given to us for the kind staff from El Camino here. Also as well, go up to the snack bar. They really have a wide variety of food. I had a couple of slices of Domino's pizza. They got hot dogs. They got cheeseburgers, popcorn, all kinds of stuff. So go hit the snack bar. I'm sure all the proceeds probably go towards the El Camino football program. So rack up the dollars and fill up your tummy. And we've still got 24 minutes of football to play. And it will be the Wildcats getting the ball back. So scoring that late touchdown in the first half not only was huge in general to get within 1 touchdown score, but if they can put a drive together here, maybe a possibility of tying this thing up and then you just never know what can happen when you have a bunch of 15 to 18-year-olds playing under the Friday night lights here in Oceanside, California. Here we go. 24 minutes of high school football action, and here we go to begin the second half. Kick's going to be taken at the 8-yard line to the 15, 20, about the 24-yard line. And that's where El Camino will operate and begin 1st and 10 as we start this second half. Malachi Russell on the return, and we have found out what an entertaining player he is. We have some updated scores to give you. 17-7 Torrey Pines leading San Marcos. Oh, now it's 23-7 Torrey Pines. So we have maybe an upset in the making. I mean, a lot of people thought San Marcos at the beginning of the year would be near the bottom of the league, and they opened up 2-0. But Torrey Pines, who lost their league opener 42-31 to El Camino, has really answered the bell tonight against San Marcos, up 23-7. Here comes Casey as we open up the second half. 4-man front for Costa Canyon. Receivers either side, out of the backfield, trying to set up Brown. Same net result, which turns into negative yardage. And on the tackle is Isaac Scoville, a 6-foot, 170-pound defensive back. They have just so honed in on Chris Brown. I think if you want to get Brown going, I would take him out of the backfield. I'd set him up in the slot, try and get him the ball in some open space, and let's see if he can do some damage that way, because having him work straight out of the backfield just has not worked tonight for El Camino. It's a loss of 6, bringing up 2nd and 16. Flag. I'm not sure if we might have had too much time. Yep. That's going to cost the Cats 5 yards, make it 2nd and 21. And I think this is the way really El Camino likes it. It's 2nd and long. We have to pass anyway. Let's throw the football. It's clearly what they do best on the offensive end. Casey out of shotgun. Over the middle, pass is completed. Out to the outside is Russell, across the 30 to the 34. I just love the play of this young man. You get him the ball in open space, and he is oh so dangerous. I mean, this kid should definitely be getting some D1 offers. He can just flat out play. Number 3, Malachi Russell. So 1st and 10 for the Cats. They put the ball at the 33-yard line. Let's see. I'm not sure if that was good enough for a first down. Originally, I thought he made it to the 35. Let's see. We seem to have some problem with the ball placement here. So it's at about the 33, so that's going to bring up 3rd and 2. Not bad since before you were at 2nd and 21. Out of shotgun. Casey. The give. The run, and they get a first down on the run. Well, that's positive yardage. You got to take some baby steps. And that's what the Cats did right there on that run, going to Chris Brown. He was slowed down, but not brought down. But it's good enough for a Wildcat first down. So good to see some positive play for El Camino on that offensive line. Enough of a hole to give Chris Brown the opportunity to gain 4 yards, which is his longest carry of the night, by the way. And brings up 1st down and 10 from the 38-yard line. Out of shotgun. 4 receivers set to either side. 4-man front for the Mavericks. The give to Brown. He bounces off. He's got an opening. He's got a seam. That's a nice pickup of about 8 or 9 yards, but a flag does fly towards the end of the play, so we'll have to see if that play holds. Not sure if we have a hold or a face mask. It's a hold. It's going to wipe out what would have been the best run of the night for El Camino. And those are frustrating penalties for head coach Michael Hobbs. So they will march it back to the 30-yard line. So the Cats are in a situation But they'll need to gain 17 yards to get first down yardage. 9:52 to go here in quarter 3. I'm your humble play-by-play announcer, Mark Keller. Thanks for joining us here on a glorious Friday night here in North San Diego County. Out of the shotgun, which we've seen all night long from Casey. And let's see, too much time, offsides, illegal shift, take your pick. Illegal procedure against the Cats. They keep moving backwards. It's now going to be first down and 23 yards to go. With the ball right inside that 25-yard line. So Torrey Pines, if they can hold off San Marcos, it'll really open things up in the Avocado League, up 23-7 against San Marcos. The Falcons with the lead. Out of shotgun. Casey loses the handle. He just has to fall on it back at the 16. That is a loss of 9, and they continue to go the wrong way. You remember the story of Wrong Way Marshall. He had recovered a fumble. He thought he was running for a touchdown. He ran the wrong way, and it was a safety. But right now the Cats just continue to go back. They are now at their own 17-yard line, and they're faced with a 2nd and 30 yards to go. 2nd and 31, call it what it is. They need a whole bunch of real estate. So this is the perfect time to go to the air and to Malachi Russell, because he has been the man tonight for El Camino on the receiving end. Casey rolls to his left, aims, fires. Is that ball caught? It is. Just across the 30 to the 31, and yep, that's the man, Malachi Russell, with yet another reception. So it'll bring up third down and about 17 yards to go. So they picked up 14 on the play. And so for Russell, he now goes over 100 yards receiving on the evening. 4 catches, 105 yards for Malachi Russell. Need to get to about to the 48 for a first down. Let's see what Casey can do here. He's got time. He's looking to air it out down the sideline. Catch is made at the 25. Who else? Malachi Russell. And we may take a bow for you, young man. You have shown that you have nice hands and speed to burn. That's one thing. This one, you think this El Camino team is kind of out and down. They find a way to come up with a big-time play. That's a 45-yard pickup for Russell. Off the left side to Brown. Once again, not much real estate. He does get positive yardage. It's maybe about a yard. We'll call it 2nd and 9. But Malachi Russell continues to be the man. He's got 5 receptions on the night. Good for approximately 150 yards. First and 10 with the ball at the 23-yard line. 2 receivers left, 2 right, 1-man backfield. Rolling right is Casey. Aims, fires. He's able to complete it to Johnson to the 5, down to the 4 for Brandon Johnson, number 15. That's his first reception of the evening. It's good for big-time yardage, and first and goal from the 4. That's a pickup of 19 for number 15. Johnson's got some good size, 6'3", 200. They should look for him a little more often. But keep an eye on Malachi Russell. He is set up wide to the left, so you have to expect that's the way Casey will be going. At a shotgun, they give to Brown. Brown bounces off a defender. Touchdown, El Camino. 6:26 to go here in quarter number 3. And pending the extra point, we got ourselves a tie ball game. That has to do something for Brown's confidence right there. A 4-yard touchdown run. And I'm sure Coach Hobbs must have said something in the locker room to his offensive line that they got to give Brown some opportunities. He came through right there. Perez's extra point is up, and it is good. And we are all tied at 21. So while El Camino has never had the lead, they have tied this football game for the second time tonight. 21-21 your score. 6:25 remaining to play. And El Camino able to complete a long drive. Remember, at one point, they were all the way back at their 15-yard line and faced with a second and almost 31 yards to go. A couple of long completions. Eventually, Brown with the touchdown pass. Really, the big play on that drive was Malachi Russell with a 45-yard reception. And that really opened things up for El Camino. So Perez will be kicking things off. He's certainly an impressive kicker. He has kicked it twice into the end zone, not allowing Costa Canyon to receive the ball. And I would keep going with that recipe. Force the Mavericks to have to travel 80 yards if they're going to put a touchdown on the board. So now the El Camino faithful have come to their feet as the Wildcats have tied things up at 21. And here we go. Let's see. So that ball once again goes into the end zone. It will be 1st and 10 for the Mavericks from their own 20-yard line. So this is by far the closest game they've had this year, as the Mavericks have won 34-7, 50-13, 38-0, 35-7, and 36-21. The 21 points by El Camino tied for the most points that have been given up by the Mavericks this season. And El Camino this year, the most points they've given up in the game was last week in the 36-14 loss against San Marcos. Neufeld back in action with Lippert. Sweep around the right side. 20, 25, still on his feet. Up ahead to the 29-yard line. That's good for about a 9-yard pickup. That's going to bring up 2nd down and 1 as Bullock in on the tackle for the El Camino Wildcats. El Camino, they have won 10 section titles in their illustrious years, opening the doors in 1976. Previous to that, Herb Meyer was the coach at Oceanside High School, and when he came over to El Camino, it wasn't just because he was the football coach, he was also named the athletic director, and at the time there was a big tumult about Herb Meyer coming cross town over to the other school, which of course established itself as an outstanding football program. Oceanside, give credit. John Carroll, over his years, won 13 section titles. So you have the two coaches here in the city of Oceanside. Between Meyer and Carroll have racked up 23 section titles. That's impressive. And Oceanside won a couple of state titles. The sweep off the left side to Lippert. Across the 20, to the 25, to the 28, and picks up most of the yardage that they had lost. I'll tell you what, I really like what I see out of this Lippert. He is fast. He gets to that second level. And early in the second half, they've given him the ball a couple of times on sweeps, where a lot earlier in the game we saw more running in between the tackles. So 2nd and 2 from the 28. We approach the 5-minute mark to go here in quarter number 3. This game still up for grabs. Let's see what goes on here. We have a penalty being called against the Mavericks, so that'll cost them some yardage. A 5-yard penalty back at the 23, so now you got to pick up 7 yards for that first down instead of what had been more of a manageable 2-yarder. And the clock stands at 4:52 to go here in quarter number 3 in this very key Avocado League matchup. La Costa Canyon wants to stay undefeated. Mission Hills and San Marcos both 2-0, but we mentioned the Knights trailing Torrey Pines 23-7 tonight. Slam pattern, catch, first down and then some. Into Cat territory at the 48-yard line. That's a big-time gain, and on the catch, it's Finley Lumpson. That's his first reception of the night. He wears number 13. He's a 5'11", 155-pound junior. That's a 29-yard pickup on that pass connection at the Cat 48 out of shotgun formation. Neufeld dumps it off to his back. 40, 35, 30, still on his feet down the sideline. 15, 10, 5, and out of bounds at about the 2. I think they're going to rule him out at the 3-yard line. Big time catch there by Jaquan Carroll. Back-to-back big time gains. That's a 44-yard pickup.
By the Wildcats down inside the 5. First and goal, Mavericks.
First and goal, La Costa Canyon. So they had been relatively quiet here in the third until those last 2 plays, and me, oh my, it's first and goal from the 3. Neufeld under center. Off the left side to Carroll. He cuts back, and they're going to cut him off at the pass. Good defense there for the Wildcats by Jacob Sega making the tackle.
Carroll, the ball carrier, stopped by Rocky and friends.
Rocky helps out on the tackle as well. No gain. That's going to bring up second and goal with the ball at the 3-yard line. Boy, every time you think El Camino's got a shot, La Costa Canyon seems to have an answer back. Out of shotgun is Neufeld. Look for them to go to Lippert. They'll give it to him. No, Neufeld calls his own number. Oh, he gets hit hard, but he flies into the end zone for a Maverick touchdown. Hard hit there by DeMarcus Griffin, but it sent Neufeld spinning into the end zone. He pirouettes, sticks the landing, and the Mavericks go up by a touchdown with 3:33 to go here in quarter 3. So Neufeld opened up the game with a 2-yard touchdown run, and now he scores the Mavericks' first touchdown of the second half with a 2-yard touchdown run. The extra point is up, and it is good. 28-21 is your score as the extra point is kicked through the uprights good. We've got ourselves a good one here at La Costa Canyon High as the Mavericks lead it by the count of 28-21. We just continue to go back and forth in this one. Every time El Camino seems to come back to tie it, the Mavericks come back and take the lead. On that drive, it was a pair of long connections. Carroll had the second one, which was good for 44 yards. And here we go with the kickoff, end over end. It's going to get picked up at the 10-yard line. 15, 20, still on feet, 25, 30, 35, 40. Up ahead to the 45-yard line is Malachi Russell. This young man is so explosive. I mean, with that return, he's now well over 200 yards of total offense for the night. The game plan, get it to Malachi Russell. The Cat cheerleaders there continue to do what they do. Cheer. Friday night here in Oceanside, California. We got ourselves a good one. Beautiful night, still 67 degrees. Most of the country freezing. We're enjoying some warm temperatures. Casey, he completes at the 38-yard line. And coming up with it once again is Cameron Bullock. So Bullock's had a couple of good catches. He had 3 receptions for 34 yards in the first half. And this time he's able to corral one for 25 yards on the reception. I mean, if you give Casey time, I mean, he's going to complete. Will Jaden. 61.1% completion rate on the year. They fake it. Now give it off to Brown. And once again, a ton of Maverick defenders are there to greet him. Led by Christian Estrella. Good to see him out there. Remember, he had that interception in the first half and got hurt at the end of the play. That's a 3-yard gain for Brown. We'll bring up 2nd and 7 with the ball at the 36-yard line. 2:20 to go here in the third quarter in a 28-21 Maverick lead. Casey, back to pass. He's looking deep. He wants 6. It's incomplete. He tried going to Brandon Johnson. He's got the size at 6'3". He tried to go up the ladder, but unable to haul that one in. He'd have to be about 6'8" or 6'9" to catch that one. 3rd and 7. 2:12 to go here in quarter 3. Cats trail by a touchdown. They have trailed throughout. They've had this game tied twice, actually 3 times. Yeah, twice, excuse me. It was tied at 7 and was tied at 21. Each time the Mavericks have had an answer. Casey rolling to his left. Gets hit as he throws, but the ball is caught, completed, and a first down. And who do you think caught the football? Malachi Russell. That's right. Russell continues. And give credit to Casey. He knew he was taking a hit, released the football, and was able to complete. That's getting the job done. That's hanging in the pocket, and that's going to impress scouts that he's willing to take the hit. So he takes that hit, completes it. That's good for a 14-yard pickup. At a shotgun formation once again. The give to Brown. Brown tries to get to the outside, but nothing doing. That Maverick defense is just honed in on number 27. And coming up with the tackle is Isaac Scoville out of his defensive back position. Torrey Pine's lead against San Marcos has been sliced to 3. It's now 24-21. So a close Avocado League game taking place in San Marcos. Casey, he's looking end zone. It's tipped and incomplete. Good job there defensively by Kyle Wada, number 29, to break that one up. It's going to bring up 3rd and 10 with the ball at the 20. I would love to see them to set up Chris Brown in the slot. It's something I haven't seen all evening long, but I think if you get him there, you could get him open in space. Have him at the opposite end of where Malachi Russell is. Spread those guys out. Make the Mavericks think, are you going right or are you going left? 3rd and 10, 1:21 to go here in quarter 3 of a 1-touchdown contest. Casey, he is going end zone, incomplete. Going to bring up 4th down. Good coverage there. Casey going for it, but he comes up empty. If I'm El Camino, you got to think, you have a good kicker. Do you kick a long field goal or do you try and go for the first down? I think you're in 4-down territory here with 1:15 to go here in quarter 3. Down by a touchdown at home. The Cats are going for it, and the hometown faithful love it. Let's see what Coach Hobbs has designed right here as El Camino knocking on the door once again. Casey looks over the middle. It's going to be incomplete. It was knocked down by Cole Blakeborough, and the Mavericks will get the ball back off down. So El Camino went for it, but they came up empty. And with 1:07 to go, we'll see the Maverick offense once again. Costa Canyon in white. El Camino in their gray with gold numbers and wearing their classic brown helmets. We should mention in the JV game, El Camino edged Costa Canyon by the count of 29-28. They scored a touchdown in the waning moments of that game to hold off the Mavericks. But on the varsity right now, Costa Canyon with the lead. They give off to Lippert. Nice little shovel pass there. Check it, that's actually number 10, Cole Miller. He picks up about 7 yards on the play, maybe 8. Going to bring up second and a manageable short there. Down to the last 47 seconds of this third quarter of play. This has certainly been a very entertaining game. And thanks for joining us here on YouTube, TVXvideo.com. My man Ted Bendrick putting this one together. Sweep off the right side to Lippert. Lippert across the 30 to the 31. He's going to be awfully close to a first down. We'll have to see where they mark it and if they give him the first down. Yep, he's enough for first down yardage, so Lippert continues to run with efficiency. He's got to be close to 100 yards rushing now on the night with 23.4 seconds to play, with the ball at about the 31-yard line. 28-21, Costa Canyon leads El Camino. If you just tuned in, we've gone back and forth, all touchdown scores, no field goals here tonight. Neufeld calling one of the men in motion to come over to him. Rolls right, aims, fires. He's able to complete it up ahead to about the 35-yard line. And coming up with the reception is Trent Dunn. He wears number 34, his first reception of the evening. So it'll be second down and about 6 yards to go. We'll call it a pickup of 4. The clock stopped with 15.1 seconds to go, because the receiver had gotten out of bounds, so that stopped the clock. 2 receivers left, 2-man backfield. They'll sweep it off to Lippert across the 35 to the 39-yard line. It'll bring up 3 yards to go, and I think that'll be the last play of this third quarter from Herb Myers Stadium on the campus of El Camino High School in Oceanside, California. We have 12 minutes of football remaining. With your score, Costa Canyon 28, El Camino 21. You're watching high school football on TVXvideo.com. Back at Herb Myers Stadium, El Camino High School, Oceanside, California. I'm Mark Keller. Thanks for joining us. We have 12 minutes of football remaining and a 28-21 contest here in the Avocado League. Costa Canyon Mavericks leading the El Camino Wildcats. So 1st and 10 for the Mavericks with the ball at about that 40-yard line. They call it at the 39. It's 3rd and 2 at a shotgun formation. They got a whole bunch of guys in motion right here. Let's see if El Camino stays at home. Neufeld, high snap, calls his own number. First down and then some, works his way across midfield. to about the El Camino 48-yard line. So that is good for a 13-yard pickup for quarterback Neufeld. Good job by his offensive line, which opened up a big hole. And you have to give some credit to this offensive line. They've done a pretty good job. That would be Trifunovic and Zaid, Steele, Ritchie, and Mazzola. They have done the job, and they're anchored by Ritchie at 6'4", 275. Amazing, kids in high school can be that big. I think dripping wet when I was in high school, I think I was like 5'8", 130. They work out a shotgun. The run. Running room and then some. 40. Knocked out of bounds at the 36-yard line. It's Jaquan Carroll with yet another nice carry there. That's a pickup of 13 yards and a Maverick first down. Enjoying the game? Smash that like button. I wonder how many people are tuning in. I don't know if we have numbers and we know right away or if we'll find out tomorrow there. Yeah, we need more of you guys tuning in here. Some of the numbers that we've had with some of these lacrosse matches, they're putting trash on you football people. Tune in. Off the left side. Down to the 30-yard line on the run. It's Jaquan Carroll. Going to bring up second down, 5 yards to go as we have 10:38 and the clock continues to tick here in quarter number 4 at legendary Herb Myers Stadium, El Camino High School in Oceanside, California. Wildcats trying to knock off the Mavericks and give them their first loss of the year. But La Costa Canyon seems to continually have an answer. The run, plenty of room. Inside the 15 to about the 13, and who do you think they went to? That was Carson Lippert with yet another fine run. Boy, he's had a good night tonight. He's well over 100 yards. So they've been able to really run the football well, have the Mavericks. They go right back to Lippert. Not a whole lot doing there, maybe about 2 yards. A combination tackle there for El Camino by Sua Tuatasi and Jacob Flores. 9:45 to go here in the fourth. El Camino trying to slow down this La Costa Canyon offense, which just every time it seems like they've had an answer when El Camino has come back to tie it. We're tied at 7. We're tied at 21, and each time La Costa Canyon's come back with a touchdown. Neufeld. I don't know if calling his own number was what he wanted to do. I think the play broke up there, and he ends up calling his own number, and it's a pickup of 3 down to the 10-yard line. So that's going to bring up third down and about a little over 5 yards to go. We are now under the 9-minute mark in this fourth quarter of play. Thanks for joining us. Mark Heller here on a glorious Friday night in Southern California. 67 degrees here in Oceanside, and things are heating up here in the Avocado League. Neufeld, loose ball, fumble. I think Neufeld picked it up. Oh boy, he was awfully lucky right there. Able to pounce on that loose football. Would have squandered an outstanding opportunity to score. They're not going to get a touchdown, but now they're going to try and put 3 points on the board. So this attempt will be about a 39-yarder. Excuse me, a 29-yarder. Let's see if they can kick it right here. So 29-yard field goal attempt, and it's straight away, so it's certainly a good angle. The kick is up, and it is good. 2-possession lead. It's now 31-21 with 8:03 remaining to play in this contest. Well, El Camino did their job by not allowing a touchdown score, but they did allow a score, making it a 2-possession game. And we see that field goal going through the upright good by their field goal kicker, Looks like that's Taro Boyd, number 24. And now will be time to kick off. Up by 10 points. So here we go. Short kick taken at the 27. Across the 30 to about the 33-yard line. That's where they'll start 1st and 10. That was Emmanuel Whitaker on the return, a 5'5", 145-pound junior. There's still plenty of time because remember, this El Camino offense is all about the pass. So they connect with a big one, and they can once again be within a one-possession score. But first things first, if you're an El Camino Wildcat, gotta find a way to move that ball downfield against the La Costa Canyon Mavericks. 7:57 remains here in quarter number 4 for Jaden Kaysen and company. Let's see what Casey can do right here. He's got time, aims, fires, completes. And who do you think he hits once again but Malachi Russell? It's a 14-yard pickup. I don't know. If I'm La Costa Canyon, I think I would get an idea by now. They're going to throw the ball to Malachi Russell. Go ahead and double team him. Don't let him operate one-on-one. He's going to beat you every time. I mean, he's got to be close now, receiving-wise, close to 200 yards and probably about 250 yards of total offense. He's been a one-man show for Michael Hobbs. Man in motion. Casey looking to set up a screen, but that thing never got going. Just never had a chance. And as athletic as Griffin may be, you could tell he's really rusty, and you could tell his timing's off. I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do over time, but tonight, you have to admit, it's been a little bit of a disappointing effort. Second down and 10 with the ball at the 49-yard line. Casey under center. Rolling to his right. Aims, fires. He's able to complete. Nice job. First down at the 36-yard line. Coming up with the reception, DeMarcus Griffin. So Griffin right there comes up with a catch when they really needed it from him. The transfer out of Fresno, California. Big things are expected from this young man who already has a verbal to Rutgers. Will be playing in Piscataway, New Jersey. I'm from New York, and I can tell you Piscataway, New Jersey is no place to be, but young men will make their choices. Casey out of shotgun. 1st and 10 from the 36. 7:16 to go, and the clock continues to tick in this Avocado League matchup. Casey. He is looking end zone for 6 and incomplete. I'm not quite sure if he was looking for either Brandon Johnson or Cameron Bullock there. They were both kind of in the same neighborhood, and that'll bring up 2nd and 10, stopping the clock with 7:06 to play here in quarter number 4. At the 36-yard line. 2 receivers left, 1 right, 2-man backfield. Casey out of shotgun as he has been all night long. Short completion right there to Cameron Bullock. Looked like a little extracurricular activity towards the end of that play. I mean, I guess that's as good as a short run, and since you haven't been able to run the football, sure, why not try that? But it's going to take some important time off the clock. Facing a 3rd and 6 with the ball at the 33-yard line. He's working out of that shotgun once again. 4 receivers set, 1-man backfield. Aims, fires, incomplete. Total miscommunication with the intended receiver, Brock Mamber. And that's going to bring up 4th down. I mean, you got to go for it right here. It's too long a field goal. I mean, you'd be looking at about 53, 54-yard attempt, so you're not going to do that. This is definitely 4-down territory. And if El Camino comes up short, they could be looking at a real uphill battle here. But 4th and 6. Let's see if the Cats can convert right here. Trailing by 10, 31-21. Casey barks the signals. Rolling left. Takes a hit, and he's going down. Loose ball fumble. And it doesn't matter who recovers it because it'll be La Costa Canyon ball, but that's the first time that when they hit Casey that he lost the ball. He's done a good job handling it tonight, but just got that hit towards the end of that play. And La Costa Canyon coming up with a big defensive play. It is number 55, Darrell Zaid. He hung in the pocket as long as he could, coughed up the football, and also give some credit on the defensive end from number 35, Sam Husson. So with 6:18 to go, La Costa Canyon now can methodically hold on to that football. You know they'll do a lot of the run, which they have. They've been so effective with Lippert tonight. At this point, the clock is your friend, and you want to continue to have possession of that football. They give to Laquan around the left side. He'll pick up maybe a yard or two. A loose ball fumble. Picked up by El Camino. Look at the Cats coming up with a big turnover. Oh, they needed that in the worst way. And they come away with the football with 6:04 remaining to play here in quarter number 4. I could tell some of the people up in the press box really surprised about that turnover. It kind of came out of nowhere. But out of nowhere is what El Camino needed. See, there goes the ball up in the air, and it gets scooped up. So the Cats come up with a big-time turnover. And coming up with the TO is Donnell Frazier, number 6. Nothing like answering the bell when you need it most. 1st and 10 from the 36 and 6:04 to play. El Camino has new life. They were taking off life support. But Casey's in trouble, and he gets away. Keeps the play alive. I'm not sure if there was any receiver nearby. Yeah. Throwing the flag at the end, that was the right play. Intentional grounding will be called against Jaden Casey, but he did an amazing job keeping that play alive. It looked like he was going to be sacked. Got away from 2 would-be defenders. Eventually a third came up, and he had to throw it away. So it's intentional grounding, and that's also not only a penalty, but also a loss of down. So the Cats all the way back at their 45. They have to get down to about the 26 for a first down, so it's 2nd and 29. But the Cats seem to thrive in this long yardage situations. Casey sets up a nice screen. Running room and then some. Midfield. 45, 40, down the sideline. Twists out of bounds at the 35-yard line is Malachi Russell. I mean, this kid can do it all. It doesn't really matter where you set him up on the field. When he gets his hands on the ball, it's what he does yards after catch. Yes, we saw that long bomb of an 80-yarder, but we've seen a lot of his receptions. He gets extremely impressive yards after catch, and that's what makes number 3 such a dangerous receiver. And right when I say that, they're going to wipe that one out. It's another El Camino penalty. So from where the infraction was to where they go, they end up exactly where they started off. So it's almost like a do-over. 2nd down and 29 yards to go for El Camino. Still 5:44 to go. El Camino seems to do best when their backs are against the wall offensively in long yardage situations, and they're facing one right here, 2nd and 29 from their own 45. Casey aims, fires, completes I mean, if I'm La Costa Canyon, I'll give that short gain to El Camino all day long. Coming up with the reception once again, Malachi Russell. I'd love to see what his numbers are by the end of the night. I mean, they have been impressive by number 3. So they pick up 7, brings up 3rd and 22. Obviously, 4 down territory as we approach the 5-minute mark in this 4th quarter of play. Mavericks clinging to a 10-point lead. Let's see what Casey and company can do right here. He's got time. He's airing it out. He's looking deep down the field, but no receiver to be had. And it looks like a hamstring was pulled towards the end of that play by the Maverick defender.
Pass is incomplete.
And at this point, I mean, it's been a warm night, so definitely cramping up is something that can take place.
Brings up a Wildcat 4th and long.
So it's going to bring up 4th and 22 for the Wildcats. They got 1 play left. There's nothing worse than just coming up limping, which is what happened on that play to Jaquan Carroll, who's been such an important piece of this puzzle tonight for La Costa Canyon. So we have an injury timeout. And so this is really key for El Camino because it gives them an opportunity to talk things over and figure out what they want to do here. 4th down, 22 yards to go. They need to get down to the 26 to pick up 1st down yardage. And the Cats were lucky with that turnover they got after going 4 downs and out. I don't know if they're going to be so lucky again. So if you're the Wildcats, for all intents and purposes, the game is on the line right here, right now. But they continue to have that long time out, and I have a feeling that the night is done for Laquan Carroll. It's a shame because, boy, he's played a good game tonight. He's a good athlete playing both ways for La Costa Canyon for the Mavericks. We're now setting up their own defensive signals, and it's good to see that he is able to, with a little bit of help, walk off the field. Some of the numbers here, once again, from John Maffey from the San Diego Union. Lippert, 18 carries, 21 yards. Carroll, 12 for 96. Neufeld, 7 of 12, 125. Brown rushing, just 12 of 7 yards. How about Malachi Russell? 9 receptions, 206 yards. Casey, 19 of 31, a touchdown and a pick. Good for 318 yards. Once again, thank you, John Maffey from the San Diego Union, for those statistical numbers. We're down to 4:49 to play. It's 4th and 22 with the ball at the Maverick 47-yard line. Let's see if there's some magic left in the arm of Jaden Casey and the El Camino Wildcats, clinging to their Avocado League lives right here. Casey, he is looking deep, and it's going to be incomplete. Looks like it knocked off the shoe of Malachi Russell, and the Mavericks will get the ball off downs. And with 4:42 to play, if you're an El Camino fan, you got to be feeling a little down right now because your team has given it its all, but apparently not enough here tonight against the La Costa Canyon Maverick team that's looking to keep their season undefeated on the year, both on the season as well as Avocado League play. So Lippert and Carroll, they have combined for a little over 200 yards of offense. Neufeld has been steady, if not spectacular, at the quarterback position, has run a very efficient offense. And they now work out of the eye, and they're going to want to run that football. The Lippert across midfield, 45, 40, still on his feet, 35, 30, 25, and down to the 23-yard line. That was a dagger-type run by Lippert.
Carson Lippert with the 27
That's a 27-yard pickup for Lippert. And now on the night, he's got 148 yards rushing for the Mavericks. First and 10 from the 24. You'll see a steady diet of Carson Lippert. Right off the right side, just inside the 20. Good for a solid 5-yard pickup. Will bring up 2nd and 5, and that clock continues to tick. El Camino pretty soon is going to have to start using some timeouts here. But right now, the Mavericks are just more than happy to take as much time off that clock and take their sweet time in between plays. 2nd and 5 from the Wildcat 19. Once again, out of the I formation. You know you'll keep seeing Lippert on the run. Neufeld off to Lippert. Off the left side. Not a whole lot doing. Maybe a yard or two. Bringing up 3rd and short. We're approaching the 3:10 mark in this football game. I'm surprised El Camino not using any of their timeouts because a lot of time is getting off that clock. And remember, El Camino's down by 2 possessions, so even if they score a touchdown, they'd still have to try and do a squib kick and recover and score at least a field goal to tie it or a TD to win. So, but that clock continues to tick against the Wildcats, and we're down to 2:45 to go in this contest here in the 4th quarter. 3rd and 5 from the 19. I guess Coach Hobbs is just hoping his Wildcat defense will come up with a big play. Now we have a timeout called by La Costa Canyon with 2:33 to play, facing a 3rd and 5 from the 19-yard line, and the Mavericks leading it by the count of 31-21.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have our winners, our most valuable players for tonight's National Football Foundation Game of the Week. Again, each of the 2 players receive a patch for their Letterman jackets and will be invited to attend the annual awards banquet.
Yep, what we want you to do to see the best in sports, we'd like you to subscribe to TVXsportsvideo for more great live streaming programming. I mean, the quality of programming that we do, this is high definition, 3-camera shoot, and these guys do a fabulous job. And who's the winners? The winners are the players, the coaches, the fans. You have an opportunity to watch the best in sports programming, and we could cover any sport. You name it, we'll do it, I'll call it. 3rd and 5 from the 19-yard line. Neufeld, under center, trying to draw El Camino off sides. Now they're going into a Wildcat formation, and Neufeld sets up as a receiver. And look, Carroll's back in the game. I thought he was out for the night. 15, down to the 14, and he might have the first down depending on the placement. I mean, you saw Carroll was down. It looked like he was out for the night. Somehow that kid bounces back. They go into the Wildcat formation. Neufeld sets up as a receiver, and that's a first down. And I think for all intents and purposes, this might have done it. 2:10 to go, and that clock continues to tick. I'm just really surprised El Camino has not been using any timeouts here as we approach the 2-minute mark of this ball game. I mean, La Costa Canyon's more than happy to take their sweet time. They're like, hey, you're going to give us those seconds off the clock, we'll take it. Timeout, La Costa Canyon with 1:50. So they're pretty much letting that clock go down to about 1 or 2 seconds. Then they're calling timeout, which is wise. They're not getting nailed with a penalty. Meanwhile, the offense gets a moment to rest as Coach Sovakul goes over the options. And meanwhile, Coach Hobbs for El Camino, they got to figure out a way. I mean, you have to strip that football, and you have to do it right now because you're running out of time here and you're down by 10 points. 31-21. So it was 7-all at the end of 1, 21-14 at the end of 2, 28-21 at the end of 3, and now we're currently at a 31-21 game. So 1st and 10 from the 14-yard line. Let's see what wrinkle Coach Sovakul has right here for his Mavericks. We'll give off to Lippert. He'll go off the left side. Not a whole lot doing, maybe about 2 yards. El Camino needs to call a timeout right now, and they do. Stopping the clock with 1:42 to play here in the ball game. It'll be 2nd down, and it was maybe a pickup of 1 or 2 at the most. So it'll be a 2nd and long situation. They call the ball at the 13-yard line. There's El Camino. Well, I'll tell you what. Coach Hobbs is a first-year head coach. He originally was going to be one of the assistant coaches, took over for Jerry Ralph due to things out of control. But the bottom line is Coach Hobbs in his first year, I think he's got El Camino going in the right direction. I think anytime you get a combination of a new head coach coming in and you also as well have some new players coming in as transfers, it's going to take a while to gel. But this is a team that I think towards the end of the year will be a team that I wouldn't want to play in the upcoming playoffs. But as of now, La Costa Canyon, the Mavericks are taking care of business in their white uniforms at a shotgun formation. 2nd and 9. Neufeld calls his own number. 10, 5, touchdown, and this game is over with 1:35 to play. Neufeld, a 13-yard touchdown run. Well, you may look at the final score and say they won by 16 or 17, but as we look back at this game, it was certainly closer than the final score indicated. The extra point on the way. It is up, and it is good once again by number 24, Taro Boyd. 38-21 your score. We have 1:35 remaining to play. So unless we see some type of miraculous comeback, it will be the La Costa Canyon Mavericks who will continue to be undefeated in the league and undefeated on the season. They'll up to 6-0 and 2-0 in league play. Meanwhile, El Camino will drop to 3-3 on the year and 1-2 in league play. Now that San Marcos Torrey Pines game was really close, and I'm not really quite sure what has happened. Last time we had an update, it was a 3-point contest. But here, just too much Mavericks. I mean, their running game, extremely impressive. They would complete the occasional pass when needed, but this team can just flat out run the football. And that is dangerous when you're a team that constantly has the lead. You saw the way that they were able to milk the clock. Kick end over end from the 8-yard line. Griffin, not going anywhere. A loose ball fumble. Griffin picks it up. He's just going the wrong way. That's close to a safety. I think they're going to rule him down at about the 2. But boy, what great special teams play by the La Costa Canyon Mavericks. And I think after that last touchdown, I just think the energy that had El Camino, I think the balloon just kind of popped. They did as much as they could, but just not good enough on this given Friday night here in early October. (38-21) with 1:24 remaining. They actually placed the ball at the 4-yard line, so at the 4 it is. So quarterback Neufeld with 3 touchdown runs of 2, 2, and 17 yards. A steady diet of Carson Lippert along with Laquan Russell. That pass is completed across the 15-yard line up to about the 17, where the catch is made by Cameron Bullock. He's had a good night tonight. That's his 5th reception of the evening. Clock continues to tick as we approach the 1-minute mark of this one. Spread offense for El Camino, 1-man backfield, 4 receivers set. Aiming, firing, and completing with the ball up ahead to the 27-yard line, and the reception made by Malachi Russell. So for Russell, that's his 10th reception on the night, good for 215 yards. And we have a whistle blowing. What's the call here? The call is timeout by La Costa Canyon. That's their final timeout with 52.3 seconds remaining. And the La Costa Canyon Mavericks with a 38-21 lead. For those of you in business and are looking for the best in internet, phone, and video, Spectrum Business is the way to go. We serve most of Southern California, and I can help you out. Just call me directly, Mark Heller. Pick up the phone and call me at 714-620-5547 or email me at mark.heller@charter.com. You can get 100 meg internet, phone line, and basic cable for just $109.96 a month. I feel like I'm giving it away. But give me a call, and I'll give it away to you. So the Cats with 52.3 seconds to go and working out of their familiar shotgun formation. I would just love to see El Camino be able to find a way to develop a running game. They did back in those championship years. And the catch is made by Malachi Russell. He works his way to the 45-yard line. Good for an El Camino first down. They'll stop the clock while they move the chains, and now the clock will continue to go. We're under 40 seconds to play in this one. At least the Wildcats have no quit in them, and they continue to play. Thanks for joining us here on TVXvideo.com. Deep pass, and is that picked off or out of bounds? It's incomplete and out of bounds. And it'll stop the clock with 24.9 seconds to play. So coming up next for La Costa Canyon, they have a showdown with Mission Hills. So as long as Mission Hills pulled off a victory against Rancho Bernardo, we'll have a pair of 6-0 teams on the year and 2-0 in league going up against one another a week from tonight. That game at La Costa Canyon, and that one should be a good one with first place on the line. We're still not sure of what's up in that San Marcos Torrey Pines game, but we knew it was an awfully close contest. 2nd and 10 from the 45. Casey, incomplete. And I'm not sure. Do we have a hold there? And we do. That'll be defensive pass interference. You never want to get whistled for that, but that's what happened to Joseph Ikeda. Happening in the waning moments of this one with exactly 20 seconds to play. Want to thank our crew, producer, technical director, Luis Rivera. Director is Andrew Leadham. On camera, we've had George Sullivan, Abby and Josh Resnicek, Abraham Contreras on audio, and yours truly, Mark Keller, with all the play-by-play action. And Ted Bendrick, hope you're having fun, hunting, fishing, whatever you're going after up there, up in the great California North, wherever that may be, and that you're enjoying life this weekend. And thanks for joining us here for exclusive action of high school football on TVXvideo.com. We can do broadcasts of any sport anywhere in Southern California. So contact us, and we'll tell you how we can do it. We got the best crew in the business here. I'm so fortunate. I just get to show up and talk. These guys show up the day before, lay down cable, set things up. I show up, 2 hours before game time, call it, and then I get to go home, and you guys get to break it down. Thank you very much. Out of shotgun, Casey. He's looking deep, and it will be incomplete. And it will stop the clock with 14.9 seconds, looking for his favorite receiver once again in Malachi Russell. So it'll be 2nd and 10 in the waning moments of this one. Well, the Wildcats gave it all they could, but they unfortunately come up on the short end. And so this will be the first time this year that the Wildcats have lost consecutive games. Last week to San Marcos, and tonight here against La Costa Canyon. Follow us on Twitter at TVXsportsvideo. That pass is incomplete and stops the clock with 9 seconds to play. It's kind of tough to play like in the last few seconds when you know you have lost, and no matter what you do, it won't matter. But the key is you hope that you learn from this defeat. You find a way to improve. I mean, I'm impressed with El Camino's passing game. There's no doubt they're very dangerous through the air, but it's the running game that just, I mean, now for the second week in a row, which just has not produced. And you cannot win being a one-weapon team, that being through the air. You really have to mix it up, and we've seen La Costa Canyon mix up the run and the pass so effectively tonight, and kudos to their offensive line, which I think has been the star of this game. That pass is incomplete, and we'll stop the clock with 3.9 seconds to go. And
Pass is incomplete. Brings up a Wildcat fourth down.
so that'll be fourth down for El Camino. We'll have probably one play left before this game comes to its conclusion. In all probability, looks like the final will be La Costa Canyon 38 and El Camino 21. To me, the stars of the game have got to be the offensive line for La Costa Canyon and your quarterback. Neufeld played a good game, managed a good game. They mixed up the run and the pass effectively. And let's see, last play of the game as Casey airs it out deep down the sideline. Russell makes the catch, but it is incomplete. And that will do it. Your final score from Herb Myers Stadium on the campus of El Camino High School. It's La Costa Canyon 38 and El Camino 21. With the victory, the Mavericks are now 6-0 on the year, 2-0 in league play. With the loss, El Camino, they dropped to 3-3 and 1-2 on the year. You see the players shaking hands, showing good sportsmanship at the end of this one. We'll kind of recap the scoring. Neufeld opened it up with a 2-yard touchdown run, an 80-yard drive, made it 7-0. Russell then caught a ball from Casey on an 80-yard touchdown catch. 2 plays going 80 yards, and with 6:37 in the first quarter, we were tied at 7. Then in the second quarter of play, we saw Carroll on a 7-yard touchdown run, Monahan on an 8-yard catch from Shemek, and then a 2-yard pass from Casey to Bullock with 11.2 seconds to go, and it was 21-14 at the half. In the third quarter, Brown had a 4-yard touchdown run, and unfortunately for El Camino, that was his longest run of the night, with 6:25 to go, tied it at 21, but then the last 17 points of the game would be from La Costa Canyon. First, Neufeld had a 2-yard touchdown run, and that was set up on a big Carroll catch of 44 yards. Boyd then kicked a 29-yard field goal, and Neufeld kicked off the scoring with a 17-yard touchdown run, his third touchdown run of the evening, and your final score is 38-21. We'd like to thank everybody for tuning in to TVXvideo.com, and call us, email us, let us know how we can do your next sporting event. We mentioned high definition, 3-camera shoot. I mean, the finest quality broadcast I've seen on the internet anywhere. I mean, we're rivals to any of the top companies out there, and we can do it at an affordable price. So your final score once again, the La Costa Canyon Mavericks 38 and the El Camino Wildcats 21. My name is Mark Keller. I've been bringing you all the play-by-play action tonight. We thank you for tuning in, whether you have been in the stands, somewhere local, or somewhere far away, but we appreciate your tuning in and your watching this game. We'll listen to the band as they'll play things out as we get ready to wrap up the broadcast. The dejected El Camino team and the La Costa Canyon Maverick team reveling in yet a victory. And any time that you can win a game on the road in the Avocado League, that is huge. And that's what La Costa Canyon has done. And for the 9th time in 10 attempts in meetings that go back to 2004, once again, it's La Costa Canyon that's victorious. Meanwhile, Michael Hobbs and his young El Camino Wildcat team will try to find a way and bounce back as next week they take on Fallbrook in a non-league contest right back here at Herb Myers Stadium. But the monster game next week in league is going to be La Costa Canyon, as they will take on Mission Hills. And it could be for first place alone, depending on if San Marcos was able to come back against Torrey Pines. But your final score here at El Camino High, it's La Costa Canyon 38 and El Camino 21. That's going to wrap it up from Wildcat Stadium. I'm Mark Keller saying thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching, and until next time, so long and good night from Oceanside, California.
She's dipping right now. Oh. Come on, hurry up. We are going to get David and stuff. Where is he?